That's why a lot of these celebrities that start these things, they can't keep up. You know, like the Meghan Markle.
Meghan Markle's fashion feud has now been revealed.
This woman is a thief. She's not even a royal thief. She's a Hollywood thief.
She's terrible. I mean, I expect she was giving him the eye.
Meghan Markle caught on camera wearing $1,695 designer dress she was once accused of stealing after photo shoot.
Joe Rogan didn't hold back. He didn't whisper. He didn't tiptoe around the story. He said what millions were already thinking but too nervous to say out loud. The moment the stolen dress scandal hit the internet, Joe went in hard, and you could feel it. This was about to get messy. This wasn't just some random dress. This was everything Meghan Markle has been wrapped up in for years. The image, the drama, the tiny stories that never make sense, and how anything she touches somehow turns into a headline. But this one hit differently. For the first time, people weren't debating politics or old interviews. They were staring at one simple thing, a green designer dress, and asking one question: why is she wearing something she was never supposed to keep? When Joe Rogan answered that question, he tore the story wide open. Here's the straight-up truth.
So first we've had all of these dramatic goings-on with the Kardashians, news that she's trying to woo.
Why is Meghan Markle stealing things that she can afford?
So she found out on TV, but, you know, they want to be financially independent.
Prince Harry left the throne! And it seems like that lady is a temptress. She's a siren. She's lured him into the rocks.
I haven't heard that term in a long time. She's a harlot.
A few years ago, Meghan did a high-end photo shoot. Like almost every celebrity shoot, the clothes weren't hers. Designers loaned them all the time. You wear them, pose, tag the brand, and when it's over, everything goes back. That's the rule. Everyone in Hollywood knows it. But months later, people from that shoot whispered something strange. Some items went missing, including a green dress. Nothing huge, nothing criminal, but definitely unusual. Fast forward to now, and suddenly Meghan is wearing that exact same dress again. People instantly connected the dots. Whether the story was blown up or not didn't matter. The internet had already made its judgment, and that's exactly why this dress turned into a scandal. It wasn't the dress itself, it was how perfectly it fit into the pattern everyone already saw in Meghan.
Crazy.
So I think, as you know, in building brands, it doesn't happen overnight. It can't happen overnight. And I knew that I wanted to put something in the world, and for years, I mean, we've been out here for 5 years now, really trying to decipher what do I want to share?
This is such a crazy thing to say.
It was amazing.
How do you feel about it?
Well,
Stop it.
Here's where Joe Rogan jumps in. The crazy part? This dress drama didn't explode when the shoot happened. It didn't trend. It didn't go viral. Nobody cared. Back then, it was just another small rumor in the giant storm swirling around Meghan. But now, she wore the dress again, and the internet noticed instantly. No need for articles, no gossip channels. People recognized it, remembered the old story, and boom, the scandal caught fire all on its own. Social media lit up, people debated, screenshots circulated, and the conversation exploded faster than anyone expected. The timing made it even worse, because Meghan's brand has been shaky lately. Every time she pops up online, people are already watching, waiting for something to slip. The internet is like a spotlight that never blinks, and the second anything seems off.
And it seems like that lady is a temptress. She's a siren. She's lured him into the rocks.
I haven't heard that term in a long time. She's a harlot. Almost.
She's well, harlot's bad, right?
Everyone notices. So when that green dress came back into the spotlight, the reaction wasn't small. People treated it like a symbol, a perfect example of the mixed signals, the strange choices, and the blurred lines that have surrounded her public image for years. That's why this story didn't stay quiet. This exact moment is when Joe Rogan decided to speak up, and trust me, he didn't tiptoe around anything. When Joe Rogan reacts, he doesn't do the polite Hollywood-style critique. He doesn't hide behind vague, PR-friendly phrases. He speaks straight, loud, raw.
No, I mean, she used to be on Deal or No
infiltrated?
Deal. She was one of the Deal or No Deal ladies.
The way it works? Is he infiltrated or was she infiltrated?
Well, it depends on who's getting...
Yeah.
It depends on the methods.
And now we've...
The way normal people do. And when this dress story resurfaced, Joe went right for the heart of it. To him, this wasn't about fabric or fashion. It was about credibility. It was about all those little stories around Meghan that never seemed to add up. He called out the pattern. Every time she tries to present a polished, perfect image, something small slips out that makes people question the whole show. Joe basically said what a lot of Americans were already thinking. How does someone with all that money, all that access, all that privilege end up in a scandal over a borrowed dress? He wasn't mocking the dress itself. He was mocking the behavior behind it. And that's exactly why his reaction hit so hard.
6% of people in England and Wales have a UK passport. Okay.
I've got a UK passport.
Do you?
Yeah, I'm a dual citizen, so.
Look at you.
Yeah, I know,
How's
right?
that work?
Well, I'm a little upset with Prince Harry, but other than that, it's working out really well.
Are you mad that he left the throne or whatever the fuck he did?
Joe didn't talk like a celebrity trying to sound diplomatic. He talked like a regular person, tired of the constant drama. That raw honesty is exactly why people listened and shared it everywhere. The truth is, this dress story only blew up because it fits into the bigger picture people already have of Meghan. Over the years, she's built an image that looks polished on the outside. Perfect lighting, perfect poses, perfect speeches. But somehow, it always feels a little off. And when the stolen dress rumor hits that exact nerve, people look and think, here we go again.
Central man in the world, Time magazine should have been.
No, Meghan Markle beat me.
How if it's most influential, there should be there's no debate. Nobody's even in the same category as you.
It's not just a dress. It's the pattern repeating, and Joe Rogan called it out loud for everyone to see. But here's the twist. This story isn't just about Meghan or a dress. It's about how the internet sees patterns, and once a pattern shows up, people can't ignore it. Every little detail suddenly feels like evidence, and the green dress? It became a symbol of everything that seems off about her public life. Think about it. She steps out in a borrowed outfit years after a rumor, and suddenly everyone is connecting dots that might not even be real. That's the power of perception, and that's why Joe Rogan's take hit so hard. He didn't just report what happened, he explained why people reacted the way they did. Joe pointed out something bigger. It's not just about fashion rules, it's about trust and credibility. Celebrities can borrow, they can wear, they can pose, and normally no one bats an eye. But when patterns clash with public perception, suddenly every small mistake becomes a story.
Popular, all they need to do is start endorsing fucking makeup lines and sneakers and watches and shit. Next thing you know, Jed's a millionaire.
Yeah, well, she's got a massive following on Instagram, which I
There
suspect she wants to
go.
Yeah, she
Start
wants
profiting.
to monetize that thing.
Well, how much do you think they make? Find out how much they make. How much do they make from the royal family?
And Joe didn't hold back. He said loud and clear, this isn't just about a piece of clothing, it's about a person's image, how it's managed, and how every slip amplifies the drama. What really makes this wild is how fast things spread now. A few years ago, the dress story might have stayed quiet. Maybe a few gossip blogs mentioned it, but nothing went viral. Today, people see one picture, one familiar shade of green, and the rumor mill explodes instantly. Screenshots fly, comments pile up, and the debate is nonstop. That's why Joe's reaction landed perfectly. He put words to what everyone was already thinking but didn't know how to say out loud. And let's not forget the irony here. The green dress wasn't even hers to begin with. Yet suddenly, it became the spark for millions of opinions, thousands of debates, and countless memes. People weren't just talking about fashion. They were talking about decisions, behavior, and patterns that feel bigger than one outfit. Joe highlighted that brilliantly, breaking down why a small story felt huge and why the internet wouldn't let it go. At the end of the day, this isn't just a celebrity scandal. It's a lesson in how perception works online. One dress, one pattern, one repeat of past rumors, and suddenly the entire public eye is watching again.
Make money off the royal family.
And they can't make money off the royal family, off the royal brand.
So it's
the,
like, the idea is you're getting paid enough.
Yeah.
Just what a goofy
So
system. They just give them money for free.
Yeah.
That's the drama Joe Rogan exposed, and that's why people couldn't stop talking about it. The story isn't just about a green dress, it's about the way little details explode when they fit into a bigger narrative, and Joe made sure everyone saw it loud and clear. It feels like another example of Meghan trying to project a luxury lifestyle. Behind the polished Instagram shots and red carpet appearances, the behind-the-scenes details often don't match the image. People notice that. And here's the thing, it's not the dress itself that bothers anyone. It's the meaning packed into it. The idea that rules don't apply, that appearances matter more than honesty, that she plays by a different set of standards. Joe Rogan called it out perfectly. He said the scandal is small, but telling, and that's exactly why it hit so hard online. A $1,600 green dress shouldn't make headlines, but when people are already questioning your authenticity, suddenly even something tiny explodes. This dress didn't expose anything new. It simply highlighted what people already believed about Meghan. That's why the reaction went nuclear. Meghan has been involved in bigger scandals before, major interviews, royal family drama, business missteps. But why did a dress hit harder than all of that? Simple. People don't need to dig deep, they don't need to pick sides, and they don't have to debate politics or tradition. It's basic human logic. If you borrow something, you return it. That's it. When Meghan showed up in a dress tied to a missing item rumor, it instantly felt wrong to everyday people. That's why this scandal spread so fast. It wasn't complicated, and it didn't feel like elite drama. It felt like something everyone could instantly relate to.
Staffers on the shoot believed the former starlet allegedly walked off with several items that day without permission, including the dress she is now proudly wearing 3 years later.
Meghan Markle is doing her worst Hollywood grift, which is stealing clothes. This is stealing clothes. It goes to show that even Hollywood is done with this woman.
Wasn't there some speculation that she was on Epstein's yacht at one point in time?
What do Americans really think of Harry and Meghan? We despise them.
She married for money. It's very clear she bagged the elephant. She was thrilled she became a, quote, princess.
You just can't keep faking it. It's too hard.
Joe Rogan nailed it. Sometimes it's the small stuff that shows who someone really is, and that's what made this land so hard. The dress became a symbol, not of fashion, but of character. People weren't attacking the dress itself. They were questioning the person wearing it. At the heart of the scandal is one word that Joe kept coming back to: authenticity. People will forgive almost anything if they feel someone is genuine. But when someone constantly looks polished, rehearsed, and perfectly curated, even tiny mistakes feel massive. And that's Meghan's problem right now. Every move she makes feels calculated, part of a performance. Joe Rogan said it himself. The dress wasn't the real story. The real story? What it revealed about her image, her choices, and how the public sees her behind the curtain. One green dress, and suddenly a whole narrative about trust, honesty, and authenticity exploded online. That's why this small moment became huge, because it was bigger than fashion. It was a window into who she really is. But here's where it gets even more intense. This isn't just about one dress, one rumor, or even one scandal. It's about momentum. Once a story like this hits the internet, it grows fast, and the green dress became the perfect spark. People online love patterns, and once they see one small slip, they start connecting everything else. Every appearance, every outfit, every statement suddenly feels part of a bigger story. Joe Rogan saw this clearly. He didn't just react to the dress, he reacted to the pattern. To him, this was never about fashion or price tags. It was about credibility, trust, and how public perception works in real time. He pointed out that while this may seem like a tiny scandal, it's telling because it perfectly illustrates how small moments reveal bigger truths about someone. And the wildest part?
On the left is the dress where she wore for the variety shoot. Remember, this is the same shoot where she was like, I know, I need to get more specific because she's always doing.
I mean, this woman has no shame. She really has no shame.
He reported that Meghan, at the end of that shoot, the crew that was there was sort of surprised because she had some high-heeled shoes on that no longer seemed to be.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Like, guys, you don't got to do this. Please, I'm begging you to stop.
The internet didn't need to hear a full explanation. No reporters, no interviews, no gossip columns. It happened instantly. People saw Meghan in that familiar green dress, remembered the old rumors, and the conversation ignited on its own. Screenshots circulated, tweets blew up, and suddenly everyone had an opinion. It was messy, loud, and unavoidable. Exactly how Joe Rogan likes it when he calls things out. What Joe highlighted, loud and unfiltered, is that this story is about human instincts. Regular people don't care about fine print or fashion rules. They notice patterns, inconsistencies, and behavior that feels off. And when someone constantly presents a polished, rehearsed image, even a tiny slip gets amplified. That's why this small dress scandal landed bigger than other controversies Meghan has faced. It's relatable, simple to understand, and instantly digestible. The green dress became a symbol, not of style, but of character, of how people perceive authenticity. Joe Rogan made it clear, it's not the garment that matters, it's what it represents. Every little story, every borrowed piece, every repeated rumor adds up in the public's eyes. And when that pattern aligns with something people already suspect, even a small incident explodes into a full-blown narrative. And here's the kicker. The dress scandal isn't going away. Online, it's being discussed in threads, memes, and videos. People are dissecting every appearance, every choice, every move. It's relentless because once authenticity is questioned, it doesn't get easily repaired. Joe Rogan emphasized that the takeaway isn't the green dress. It's the larger lesson about perception, image, and how small actions reveal bigger truths. In the end, this story shows the power of optics.
Why not ask for it? Because most fashion designers or whatever, they will give it to you. So it leads to us to the variety thing. And then the variety thing, she did steal this dress because she was caught just now wearing it for the Meghan, advertising it 3 years later after she shot that variety photo shoot modeling. I don't even call it modeling because she's like 5'2". I mean, she took a 1700 green Ushuaia dress. I hope I'm saying the label correctly.
Patterns and public scrutiny. One green dress, one borrowed item, and suddenly a worldwide conversation about credibility and character unfolds. And Joe Rogan's voice? It amplified every suspicion, every observation, every pattern people were already thinking about. That's why this scandal didn't fizzle. It exploded. And it all started with something seemingly simple, something almost invisible, that suddenly revealed so much about the bigger picture. When Meghan shows up in a dress tied to an old missing items rumor, the reaction isn't about fashion at all. It's deeper, rooted in years of people feeling like her public image doesn't match her real behavior. The second people see that dress, they think, why does everything she does feel scripted? Why does every small story snowball into something bigger? Why does nothing ever seem straightforward? That's what Joe Rogan calls the authenticity gap, the gap between who someone really is and who they try to appear to be. And Joe's point was crystal clear. The gap isn't shrinking for Meghan, it's getting bigger. And he saved his hardest punch for last, and it wasn't about the dress at all. It was about trust. Joe said the real damage didn't come from the rumor, or the dress, or even the internet jokes. The real problem? The pattern. Joe pointed out that Meghan's scandals almost never come from huge, life-changing events. They come from the small stuff, the tiny details, the odd situations, the little stories that make people shake their heads and say, why does this keep happening? And that's where Joe hit hardest. He said the dress story blew up because people no longer give Meghan the benefit of the doubt. When your image is shaky, even a small rumor looks like proof. Even a tiny mistake looks intentional. Even a borrowed dress turns into a headline. Joe's final blow was blunt. When people stop trusting you with the small things, they won't trust you with the big ones either. That's exactly why this scandal exploded. It wasn't about fashion, it was about trust that's already broken. This wasn't just a dress, it was a symbol. The moment Meghan wore that missing item dress, people saw it as another crack in her image. And Joe Rogan didn't hold back. He said it out loud. A small rumor became a big problem because confidence in her was already gone. That's the real issue. It's not the green fabric, the designer label, or the price tag. It's the trust, the credibility, and the way the public perceives every move she makes. Joe's commentary made that crystal clear, and that's why the scandal landed so hard, spreading faster and farther than anyone expected. And here's the kicker. This scandal proves one thing loud and clear. In the age of social media, small details explode into major stories. One green dress, one tiny rumor, and suddenly the internet has a full-blown narrative to dissect. Every comment, every meme, every screenshot becomes fuel for public judgment. Joe Rogan saw it coming. He didn't just react to the dress itself, he reacted to the bigger picture. To him, this isn't about fashion, it's about behavior, patterns, and trust. When the public sees repeated little slips, it shapes how they see everything else. And Meghan? She's been under that microscope for years. Every polished pose, every perfect Instagram photo, every curated public appearance, it all gets analyzed, and even the smallest inconsistency is magnified. Joe made it clear. The green dress wasn't the scandal. It was a symbol of how perception works online and how quickly credibility can crumble when trust is already shaky. People aren't just seeing a dress, they're seeing a pattern, a story that fits into everything they already think. And once the internet makes that connection, the reaction is instant. It spreads like wildfire because the story is simple enough for everyone to understand. No complicated research, no political debate, no insider knowledge needed. And that's why Joe's take landed perfectly. He broke it down in human terms. When your public persona feels rehearsed and polished, even tiny mistakes get magnified. Even small rumors seem intentional. Even minor details explode into headlines. And that's exactly what happened with the green dress. Joe called out the pattern, called out the behavior, and made it crystal clear why people reacted the way they did. What's wild is that this isn't just a Meghan story, it's a lesson for anyone trying to manage a public image. One slip, one inconsistency, and suddenly the story is bigger than you could imagine. People online are relentless. They notice patterns, they remember past moments, and they connect the dots faster than traditional media ever could. And Joe Rogan's commentary gave voice to exactly what everyone was already thinking but didn't know how to say. At the end of the day, this is why the green dress became a cultural moment. It wasn't about money or style or labels. It was about character, trust, and authenticity. Joe Rogan made it clear that the dress was just the spark. The real story is what it reveals about perception, credibility, and how quickly small details can explode when trust is already shaky. That's why the scandal spread faster than any fashion story could. That's why people couldn't stop talking about it. That's why it's not a dress, it's a lesson. If you watch this and have thoughts, drop them in the comments below. If this breakdown made you see things differently, hit subscribe and stay locked in for more deep dives like this. Don't forget to like the video and share it with someone who needs to see it.